Before we leave for Rollin the Northeast, which, if you don't know what that is and you want to know where we're going this summer, definitely check out Rollin the Northeast announcement video so you can check that out. But with us going soon for that trip, I was deciding that I want to do a predictions video. I want to say what I'm most excited for, what I think could be the best coaster of the trip, worst coaster, best park, worst park. I want to do it all in a massive Rollin the Northeast predictions. So, this is all before we go. So, I want to start going park by park, and we're going to go and say what is my most anticipated and what I think are going to be the top 3. So, let's start with the first park of the trip, Kings Island. So, strangely enough, although there's great rides such as the Beast, Diamondback, Banshee, all those great rides, I'm most anticipated for Mystic Timbers. And I also think that Mystic Timbers would be my favorite in the park. Because here's why. If you don't know, maybe from here, I love Gold Striker. Gold Striker is my favorite at CGA, and I love that coaster. I do have a little bit of nostalgia bias because I grew up riding that coaster, but still, I just really enjoy that coaster. And so, looking at that, Mystic Timbers is a newer version because it's also a GCI wooden coaster. It's just a newer version, and this one's out and back. And I've heard it has great air time, and I just think I definitely could see this being my number 1 at Kings Island. Also, with the shed, I've heard a lot of people hating on it. I feel like a lot of hate for Mystic Timbers, the shed, is because it was over advertised, like hashtag what's in the shed before it opened. And that was basically its whole campaign. So I feel like it's overhated. I feel like I haven't seen anything for this, but I think it would be like fine. I feel like I would just be like, it's a good addition because then you add entertainment while you're waiting. Also, wanted to say that I've seen POVs for basically all these rides. I'm not someone who's like, I don't want to see any spoilers of anything. I don't want anything. I see spoilers for every single thing. I mean everything. I've seen spoilers for basically all these rides. I am just someone who goes with the spoilers, but I have not seen what's in the shed for Mystic Timbers. I think I know what it is, but that's the one thing I haven't watched for some reason. So, number 2 best, I think, is something weird, but I think Orion would be my second favorite at the park because Orion is, I heard not great things about it, but I feel like it's overhated because it's still a B&M Giga. I already know, I've already had my expectations much lower, knowing that this is not going to be Fury 55, my number 1. I know it's not going to be what Fury is. It's not going to be what Fury is. I really want to see how it is. I want to see how a new B&M Giga, and this would be my third in like the Hyper / Giga style because I've only been on the 2 at Carowinds, which is Thunder Striker and Fury. And so this would be my third one. So I really, for some reason, think this could be my second favorite. And my third favorite would be another B&M. But that would be Banshee. Because I heard that this is a great ride. It has good intensity. It looks great. I love B&M inverts, so it looks great. It could be my favorite. But that's all to see. Only problem I feel like I would have with Banshee is the restraints because they are B&M best restraints. And if you've seen my Raptera review, I am not a fan of those vest restraints. They pinch my hips a lot. They're very uncomfortable. So that's the only problem I feel like I would have with the ride. Next up is Cedar Point, and of course, my most anticipated, and I think what would be the best coaster in the park, Steel Vengeance. And here's why. I love Twisted Timbers. Twisted Timbers to me is so close to being Fury. It's my number 2. And when I rode a night ride at the back row, I was like, what is this? This is amazing. The ejector, the airtime, it's so fun. Steel Vengeance is just basically a Twisted Timbers, but double that. And you get to go in the structure. All this looks so cool. The inversions inside the structure, the 6 airtime hills back to back. I'm just so excited for this, and I just can't not wait for Steel Vengeance. Second best, I feel like, if it does open on time, is Siren's Curse, because I was like, when they announced Siren's Curse, I was like, looks cool. I saw an image recently from it at the very front where you could see the tilt drop right there, and I was like, oh my god, these shots look amazing, and I'm like, I cannot wait to get on this. Like, how would it feel? Like, there's of course the original one in Taiwan, but like, I've never been to Taiwan. How would this feel? And so that's why I cannot wait for Siren's Curse, and that's why I think it's my second favorite. But my third favorite is a new for 2024, basically new for 2025, Top Thrill 2, because it looks cool. So technically, it is right now the world's tallest coaster. So that's one thing. It'd be the tallest coaster I've ever ridden, because I never got to ride King of the Ka. So again, but whatever with that. I definitely could see this really cool. Rollback would be really interesting. I know it's not the same as like if you got like a double rollback, because like then you go all the way to top, but still going up that spike, I feel like that'd be really cool. So I'm definitely excited. And you may be wondering, why don't I say Maverick? Here's the thing. So when I rode I-305, I thought it would be the best coaster at King's Dominion. Obviously, it's not, because Twisted Timbers is my number 2 and number 1 is Fury. I-305 is my number 3. And I just didn't have much fun with it because of the restraints. And that's really the only problem I have with I-305 is the restraints. First of all, the soft straps during those like intense turns, even I was bracing for it. Like, I knew when they were going to come. I've seen the POV. I was ready for the turns, but they still hurt. Like, I felt like if I turned too much, I couldn't turn so much. I felt like my head couldn't move as much. I felt very restricted to only looking forward, and I couldn't do anything else. So I really don't like those soft tracks. I feel like they hit my neck. And then the middle bar on it, so anytime you would get any, like, there's no airtime in I-305, but anytime there would be, like, pops of air, like, trying to give you air, it'd be like, whoa, whoa. It hurt so much, that middle bar. And so I'm just not a fan of the restraints. So I'd rather not do it like I-305, have my expectations here and have them met here. I'd rather it be opposite and have them here, but maybe I could expect them higher. So that's why I don't have, like, Maverick that I think could be second or third. Next, let's go to Canada's Wonderland. And my most anticipated, and I think could be the best coaster, is if it opens on time, but if it doesn't, though, it would be very sad, is the new for 2025 Alpenfury. Because looking at this, okay, one, it goes into Wonder Mountain itself, and you launch out of there. It just looks so cool. How many inversions there are, even though it's very repetitive, it looks very smooth flowing, those rolls and stuff, so it looks really cool. But I don't think it's going to be open in time for our visit. So even though it's not, then that would be the second best, or what I would say best, if Alpenfury isn't open, would be Leviathan. Because as I talked about Orion being the successor to Fury 325, Leviathan is what inspired Fury 325, because it was the original B&M Giga Coaster. So it'd be really cool to get to ride that. I heard it's kind of more of like a hyper style than like Fury, which is very low to the ground. These have very high elements. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Third best, I think, would be Yukon Striker, not Behemoth, because I talked about Thunder Striker. I think it's overrated, and I think it's a little bit of dud of a ride because the airtime isn't good. And I've heard Behemoth is the same because of those trims. So I could see it just not being as good. That's why I have Yukon Striker over it. It'll be interesting to see what could be number 3, and even if Alpenfury opens on time. Alright, so let's move to Six Flags Darien Lake. With my most anticipated, and most likely my favorite coaster there, being Ride to Steel. Our first of the 3 Superman clones we're going to get on. So, with this one, I think it won't be as good, because as like other hypers, just because I've heard that the airtime is mid and there's a lot of repeated elements and straight track, and that's not my thing. Second best, I think, is Tantrum, because this looks like a really cool Gerst flower, and this would also be one of the many firsts, my first Gerst flower ever. So this would be very interesting to get on. It is a short one, and it is a clone though. I still think it looks very nice, and it looks kind of cool to get on that. But my third best, with not really a thrill ride, it's Moto Coaster. And the reason I say Moto Coaster is because looking at the other rides, they got Viper. That looks like it gives you a headache. Predator, that looks like it does nothing. A lot of the rides here, I feel like, are complete duds. So that's why with Moto Coaster, because even though it's a family coaster, I still think it's very cool because it's Zamperla's take on this style of ride. So it'll be interesting to see. And next, let's go to Six Flags New England, with the most anticipated and I feel like best coaster being Wicked Cyclone, the second RMC iBox on this trip. And I think it's going to be really cool, the air time we're going to get, because I feel like the air time I've heard is great, that this makes is one of the top tiers of the iBox model. So I think it'll be really cool to get on that. Second best, I feel like, would be Superman the ride. So we went from one, now we're going to go to the second one. Now I heard this one in layout is better, but the restraints kill it. And I was talking about I-305, you know, that middle bar, it's not good for when there are moments that are trying to give you airtime, because there is no real airtime. So I definitely could see it being that the restraint just takes a lot. So I'm not sure, but maybe second and third switch, because I think third would be Batman the Dark Knight. The reason I think Batman the Dark Knight compared to other rides is, well, there's really not much to pick actually. It's obvious that it's either this, Superman, or Batman. Batman looks like a pretty decent floorless, but I can see 2 and 3 interchange. And next we head to Dorney Park, with my most anticipated and best coaster. Maybe you could see it from the announcement video, but it's Talon at Dorney Park. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So if you know, listen to the Inverted Creative podcast, which is a great podcast. You should definitely give it a listen to. One of the hosts, Jen, she loves to talk about how Talon is how Talon is the best. How she cannot go one episode without talking about Talon. So, sense of that, I am really now excited for Talon at Dorney Park. Talon at Dorney Park looks legit. It looks like it gives some great positive. And one of my favorite things is just how photogenic it looks. Like that color scheme. Oh my goodness. It looks really, really, really good. It is, but I think it will be a very underrated coaster of the trip. Second best, I think, would be Iron Menace, because although it does have a lot of critics, because one, it has vests, and like I was talking about with other rides that have vests, I do not like the vests. So that's one thing that I'm a little worried about. Two, it has to be in a rattle, which you should check out the Raptera review if you want to hear more about that. And so I'm a little worried with that, and I heard that this one is really bad towards the end. Hopefully, it's not as bad as I expect it to be. So, but I'm a little worried riding on those outside seats. So I'm gonna try to get the exact middle. But overall, it looks like a great ride. The elements look cool. The incline loop, I feel like, would be really cool to see. But it could switch with Hydra the Revenge, and I think this looks really cool because one, I'm already gonna say favorite element will probably be the JoJo roll, because this is where the first JoJo roll came. And if you know, and if you checked out my Copperhead Strike review video, and my favorite part of Copperhead is the JoJo roll, because the hang time it gives. Now, I know it's not going to be as good here, because here you have like an actual shoulder harness and not a lap bar. So maybe it'll be a little more painful. But Hydra the Revenge looks really cool. It looks really different from anything else of the B&M floorless, so it would be really cool to get on it. Now, Six Flags Great Adventure, my most anticipated is seeing the ashes of King Dakar. Like I can't believe we'll get to see the ashes of King Dakar, where King Dakar Stood. Let's just watch and admire it. Alright, so back to the video. My most anticipated is Jersey Devil. Although I don't think it's going to be the best coaster in the park. I think Jersey Devil is my most anticipated because I love Railblazer. And so this would be my second RMC Raptor. And I can't wait to see what it's like different from the original. I know I've already heard from a lot of reviews that it's not as good as the original. So I just really want to see how it compares to it. It looks really cool. That stall looks really great. So I just really want to see how these bigger ones compare to these smaller ones because I love Railblazer. And although it may not be what Railblazer is, I think I just love the pure intensity. So I just can't wait to see how it is. And also, I just have something with the single rail. They're so enticing. They look so like, oh my god, I really want to get on this now. But my favorite coaster probably at the park will probably be El Toro. Let's be real. I do have something against rough wooden coasters. If it's rough, I do have something about it. And I heard that El Toro isn't the best. It's not the best. It's not running the best. Hopefully with that retrack it's getting. But I still think El Toro will probably be the best because King the Cot is burned to the ground. But no matter that, El Toro looks like it'll give good, great ejector, and I'll just remember not to ride on a wheel seat. My second favorite will probably be Jersey Devil. We already talked about that. And my third favorite, I feel like, is not Nitro. It would be Flash, Vertical Velocity, because this is something that there's nothing around. Like Nitros, there's a bunch of B&M Hypers, but there's no Super Boomerangs in North America except this one. This one looks really, really cool. The lines are probably going to be terrible, so it's probably going to be the first thing we do. But it just looks really cool. I love hang time, and I heard that the hang time here is almost too much, so I really want to see how that would feel. So definitely that's why Flash, I feel like, would be my third favorite. And then last but certainly least, Six Flags America, with my most anticipated, I feel like best coaster of the park, being Batwing, because I really enjoyed Nighthawk. I love Nighthawk. Definitely more than the average person. Like the average coaster enthusiast, like hated this. I never saw the hate towards it. And I heard Batwing is like better than Nighthawk, so I'm really excited to see what this Flying Dutchman is. The only one that has not been moved. So I really want to see how Batwing would ride. And it looks very cool. Second best, I think, is Joker's Jinx, because when I rode Flight of Fear at King's Dominion for the first time, I was blown away. I didn't know how it was like. It was gonna be that powerful to launch. It's very positive with a lot of positive G's. So I really want to see how that's gonna work for Joker's Jinx. So actually, that's why I think Joker's Jinx would be my second favorite of the park. And I heard it's better than Flight of Fear, so we'll wait to see. And third best will be the third Superman the Ride clone. Like what I said with Ride of Steel, I just don't really see the hype for this ride. So overall, let's go into my overall anticipated coasters. Number 3 most anticipated coaster of this whole trip is Mystic Timbers. I cannot wait to get on Mystic Timbers, as I explained, but I just can't wait to ride something like Gold Striker and just to get to like ride something like that. It looks to be great, and I can't see what's in the shed. Number 2, if it opens on time, Siren's Curse. Seeing the shots for this just look incredible. I cannot wait. Seeing a test run looks amazing. What will be that feeling of being like hanged up? Like all the blood will probably rush to your head because since you were like dangling 90 degrees looking at the pathway. That'll be very cool. But number 1 at the same park is Steel Vengeance. And I think Steel Vengeance, I'm so excited for. Like, looking at it, I cannot wait for Steel Vengeance. Steel Vengeance looks like it could be wonderful. Like, it could maybe top Fury. And that's what I'm really excited for. most anticipated park is number 3, Canada's Wonderland. I cannot wait to get on this park because not only do they got a bunch of roller coasters and flat rides, but they got Wonder Mountain. They got so many good things. I wanted to say that one of the things I was looking forward was Time Warp at Canada's Wonderland, because that's why it was also one of them. Because I was like, I can't wait to ride this because it'll be so bad. I wanted to ride it so bad. Like, there's certain coasters that they become so bad. Like I hear reviews that they're so bad that I'm like, I want to go ride them to see how bad they actually are. So, unfortunately, it closed right when I wanted to get on it. But Alpine Fury, if it opens, looks amazing. Leviathan, Behemoth, Yukon Striker, all the rides there. Wonder Mountain Guardian, they just look really, really cool, that park. But not as cool as number 2, Kings Island. Kings Island has been regarded as one of the best parks in the United States. So I cannot wait to get to this park and to get to ride the Fantastic Ride, which already said Mystic Timbers, the Beast, Banshee, Diamondback, Orion, the Bat, and Vertigo. I just cannot wait to get to that park because that park is loaded. I've heard that their nighttime show is spectacular and we get to stay there till 10 p.m. to see their nighttime show. That'll be really, really cool. So I can't wait to see what they have there at Kings Island. But it does not compare to number 1. Now, although Kings Island, I think, could be the better overall park, I think Cedar Point is my most anticipated because Siren's Curse, Steel Vengeance, Top Thrill 2, Maverick, Magnum, Millennium Force, Raptor, Valraven. I'm probably missing something else. I'm probably missing like the other half of the rides there. Oh my god, it's loaded. I'm so excited for this park. We could spend 2 days here. Oh my god, I think this is why I'm so excited for this trip. So I cannot wait to go to Cedar Point as my most anticipated. Now, I already said it, but let's move on to what could be the best coaster of the trip. And I think the best coaster of the trip will be Steel Vengeance. So I said it's my most anticipated, and I also think it's the only coaster in this whole trip that can beat Fury 325 because Twisted Timbers was very, very close, I mean. And I don't see anything else beating Fury except Steel Vengeance because the airtime looks ridiculous. What the heck is going on with the like overbank and the top hat and the first drop and that one inversion that's like there? It's probably showing up right now, and you know what I'm talking about. It looks absolutely ridiculous, and I cannot wait to ride Steel Vengeance, which I think will top Fury 325, which is my number 1. Worst coaster of the trip is, I think, any of the SLCs we're gonna ride. So my first ever SLC will probably be the worst coaster in this whole trip. And that's, for some reason, that's what I am most excited for. To ride a freaking SLC is one of the things I'm excited for. Because I cannot wait to see, kind of like Time Warp, how bad the ride is. Just to, like, make fun of it and be like, oh my god, that was terrible. So I think that would be the worst coaster of the trip, one of the SLCs. Best park is, I think, even though I'm most excited for Cedar Point, I think Kings Island will be the best park because, I think overall, like, Cedar Point is good, but it's really good because of the roller coasters. But I feel like Kings Island has it all. From what I've seen, Kings Island just looks phenomenal. So I can't wait to see how Kings Island is. And what I think is the worst park is Six Flags Darien Lake, not Six Flags America. I think Six Flags Darien Lake would be worse because the thing is, Six Flags America is closing, and there's still rides there that kind of excite me, like Batwing and Struggle Sings. But Six Flags Darien Lake, I feel like, has nothing going for it. I'm like, their best coaster, Ride of Steel, I'm not really that excited for. I'm just like, I feel like that will be the park I'm least like because their roller coaster lineup. But hopefully we can still get a good day and hopefully get still on the rides. But that is it for Rollin the Northeast predictions. So I also wanted to say, once the series is over, I'm going to make an awards show, and we're going to see which one of these get right. Like, which one is the best coaster, what is the best park, what is the worst coaster, what is the worst park. It'll all be in that awards show in the finale of the season. So, I cannot wait to go. I can't wait for the parks. I can't wait for the rides. I can't wait for this whole thing. You should definitely hit that subscribe button so you know all of it. And thank you for watching, and keep chilling with the Coaster Dude.